I'm really not doing well mentally, I have to just like get off of TikTok. I have to get away. Like I'm on social media so much because I create it and upload it. But like there comes a time where I'm like, I need to get away from this and I need to just go be outside and I cannot be on the screen. I have to get away from it. It's a time suck and it will if I'm already in like a very like judgmental mood of myself. Yes, you can use it for inspo like you said, but on the flip side, all of a sudden I'll just be like, "Oh great, they're going viral. They're going viral." Like what the heck? My content is so much better quality. I'm so much more well-spoken. Like why are they getting 50,000 views on this video and I'm only getting 100? Like I'm literally going to drive
I
this van. I'm
know.
going to drive this van off of
So
the Blue Ridge Parkway. You can't park here.
welcome to episode 8? I believe this is. It might be 7 or 8.
I think this is 8.
The Knock, Waking Up Van Life podcast. And thanks for being here, you guys. Your support means everything to us. And we want to get started on this episode. Mental health on the move and parked, navigating van life as women, nomads, and partners. We wanted to get into this because Kyla and I, we both van life in different ways. I'm fully nomadic, although I'm really not at this point right now, but I'm doing it solo as the only female. And Kyla has a partner that she lives in the van with and mostly stays in one general vicinity. So we wanted to just do kind of a whole, I don't know what the word is for that. All of a sudden I'm nervous. Why do I get nervous?
It's fine.
Episode just about those differences and also how we handle mental health living in a van. So let's get into it. Yeah, we don't. We absolutely lose our ish on the daily. No lie. So let's do a quick check-in. First of all, where are we both parked this week? And where are our heads at mentally and emotionally? Where do you want to go first?
Sure. So this week, well, currently I'm parked at Andrew's work. Last night, if this camera keeps doing this, I swear. Last night it was in the 50s and it's in the 80s today and it might rain, so it's super humid. So I have the 30 amp hookup plugged into power outlets and I'm running the AC in the back. Or else I could not even do this right now. That's also why I'm scantily clad because it's hot. So yeah, get used to seeing me dressed like this for the rest of summer because I'm from Florida, so I will literally just wear a bathing suit and shorts. When it's hot, it's hot. I don't care, okay? I'm not gonna wear a sweater. It's hot. Thank you.
So how's your headspace, Kyla?
Oh my gosh, I haven't been getting good sleep. Andrew's pinched nerve is still really bad. We tried to go to the acupuncturist, like he's taking kratom. You know, we've done the ice pack, we've done the hot bath and Epsom salt. We got a hotel for 3 nights. And so we were at the hotel this weekend in melting into this week. So I like popped an Adderall and had all the lights off in the hotel room and I had my movie projector playing like a techno bunker rave set while I was editing the previous episode.
Don't worry, she gets the prescription for it, you guys. She's diagnosed.
Yeah. So American healthcare system. Of course I have health insurance and can afford pharmaceuticals. So I'm doing great. No sleep. But you know what? I've still gone to the gym. I've still stuck with going to the gym. Like last night, we showed up to the gym and there was no power. The whole shopping center, no power. There was linemen.
Out.
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you serious, dude? Like Andrew needed a shower. I wanted to work out. I wanted power and Wi-Fi to finish editing the episode." And you know, this is part of van life. And so I was like, "Andrew, go talk to the lineman." He's like, "No, you go talk to the lineman." I was like, "No, you go talk to the lineman." And he's like, "They're going to be rude and annoyed." And I'm like, "Dude, it's North Carolina. Everyone's nice here." And so then he goes and talks to them, and of course they were nice to him. They're just like good old country boys. And they're like, yeah, man, we'll have this up in like 20 minutes. You're good to go. And of course, within 20 minutes, we were able to get into the gym and everything was fine.
There
And
you
he
go.
was like already panicking and like, we have to go to the other side of town to go to the other gym and like all the, and I'm like, why don't we just wait and see what happens, you psychopath? So I don't know. Already a pro and con to having a partner, someone to talk you down when you're losing it.
Andrew's going through a rough time right now. I mean, so are you, but that when there's pain in the mix, it changes things. So we'll let him have his little panic mode. It's okay. I do it too.
He's not well.
He's not well, but he's getting there. He's going to see an acupuncturist, which I can't wait to see a little bit of content about that. Wink, wink, Kyla, on your YouTube channel, which is Van Boozled, by the way, everyone.
Van
I'm going to
Boozled
get
Vanlife.
where I'm at. I'm actually parked outside of a Wendy's. So I'm torturing myself with the smell of crispy chicken tenders or whatever it is they sell here. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. And it's the only place in this area where I can get a good signal for going live. So, or recording a podcast. I'm kind of in one place right now. I'm kind of like bouncing around between like 3 or 4 metropolitan areas because I bought a truck. It's in storage, but I keep having to go to it and trade out the van for the truck so that I can take the truck to the shop because it's got a few things that I want to get fixed up and maintained before I can sell this thing because I don't want to sell it, if it's got problems. It doesn't have any major problems, but we're working on it. And, as you get into it, you find, oh, there's this little thing and that little thing. And so we're just fixing those up. Thank God I've found a decent mechanic in the area. So it's a struggle right now, but it's something that I knew I was going to get into when I bought the truck. Like I knew that I was going to have to handle these things. So I'm prepared for it. I think that's important. Being prepared for those mental challenges when they come. And I also kind of knew the area before I decided to store the truck in this vicinity. So I wasn't completely unprepared and I knew what I was getting into. So listen, this is also a learning experience for me getting this truck because I'm learning to fix different things. I'm also making some huge realizations about my lifestyle and what the next step for me is in van life and nomadism. But I will be honest, like over the weekend and like the week before that, like girl, I was in a dark place. I was feeling bad. I was ready to give up on everything. I wanted to like burn YouTube to the ground. Yep. And it's really hard when you don't have a lot of positive encouragement, especially when most of your followers are on a toxic app like TikTok. So I'm getting through it. The only way to get to the other side of it is to go through it. And I just have to keep reminding myself that everything is temporary and it's all an adventure. I just have to keep my mindset as that, because if I see it as a downfall or a trap or I'm stuck or anything like that, then I can't handle it. So I just have to keep telling myself it's an adventure. So whether you're living full time or you're on the move, or even just mostly parked with an occasional getaway like Kyla and Andrew are, van life brings unique mental challenges. And today we're going to get real about how we manage that, solo, partnered with pets, and everything in between. So listen while we share our struggles and our strategies. The emotional landscape of van life. I'm going to let you go into that first, Kyla, because you're mostly stationary.
Yeah, let's do it. So we've talked about this before, but if you're new here, me and my husband were priced out of housing December of 2021, I believe. And we moved into a 2005 Honda Pilot with 300,000 miles. Like, none of this was by choice. This was not spawned by some whimsical, like, dream world that we thought we were going to live. Like, this was rooted in struggle and rooted in troubleshooting and rooted in how do I just get to the next day of surviving without completely losing my mind. So we have had many trials and tribulations as a married couple, and in a lot of ways it's really no different than having a partner living in a home or an apartment. In this current economy, I'm sure that everyone is stressed about money, and money is the root of a lot of people's marital strife, which is so lame. Like, I hate that so much. We've really worked over the years on not letting money ruin our happiness as a couple, and just grinning and bearing it. It is what it is. Sometimes we're on top of the world, and then other times we're trying to crunch the numbers to see if we can get groceries for that week. Really cool, really fun. I would say living in a van when you're non-nomadic can get a little bit depressing, because it does feel more like still being a cog in the system, because while it's nice to have that schedule and that quote unquote stability, you're like, dude, I'm stuck in this van dealing with all the regular like van life hassles of like where to park, where to dump the pee jug, where to, it's hot today, I have to plug in the van.
Decision fatigue.
Yeah, but then you don't get any of the benefits of like, well, we're in a new place. It's like I'm going to the same gas stations, the same grocery stores, the same roads, the same parks on a loop. So it does start to feel like Groundhog's Day. And I think that's part of the reason why I am so driven with my content, is because that gives me so much to focus on. That really gives me like an end goal. My husband likes his job, but ultimately in the perfect world, we would love to be traveling full time, and I would love to see my content get us to a point financially where we can just travel and basically be financed through my content. So please subscribe to this podcast.
Please subscribe, you guys. Yeah, put those notifications on and stay tuned for the next episodes.
And subscribe to our private YouTube or our personal YouTubes.
Absolutely, that too. So I'm Bunny and Beyond on YouTube, Bunny and Beyond Vanlife, or Bunny and Beyond. And Kyla is Vanboozled, VANBOO.
Vanboozled Vanlife. I changed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Vanboozled wasn't populating, so I did change my screen name. It did help a little bit.
And you can find the links below in the caption. We will put them in the caption, as we always do for you guys, so that you can find our private, they're not private, but our individual YouTube accounts. And it's okay if you don't like one of us. We're not in competition, so it's okay. You don't feel like you have to subscribe to both, because we all know.
Yes, you do. You have to subscribe to both. You have to subscribe to both, and you have to subscribe to this.
But if we do giveaways, we will be doing. We just did one. Someone just won a EcoFlow power system. We'll be doing more of those in the future, and you do have to subscribe to both of us if you want that. So, but besides that fact, you guys do take breaks from being in one place, and I think that breakup of routine on the weekends, or when Andrew has days off, and you have that chance to get out of that, infinite loop, really does save your mental state. And I love when you do that, because it gives you something to look forward to, and it gives you something to work on for the week afterwards, because you get to make content all about it.
Oh, absolutely. I think that is still the benefit. So what keeps us going and what keeps us in this lifestyle is just point blank period, it would be a nightmare to try and afford a rental right now. And then B, we do have a long-term end goal of owning our own property. Before that point, we might end up upgrading to a different style rig. We talk about all kinds of things. And, we're working on our credit. It's about to storm here really bad, so I apologize. It's about to be super chaotic. This would be on the mental health episode, very moody.
Of course. It's authentic, you guys.
So, these weekend trips for us are amazing. So we already live in our van. There's no packing. There's not as much planning. Like a couple weekends ago, we did a completely impromptu, let's camp at Davidson River. Like we were going into the Pisgah National Forest just for the day. And we were like, why don't we just go to the campground and see if they have a spot? And then we were like, yeah, well, we live in our van. We already have our stuff. And just the hikes and having our van with us and just being able to go and do those things, and not always having to have a hip camp or Airbnb or a hotel. If we want to go somewhere, we can just sleep in the van. It makes it more accessible for us. And, because of my husband's job, he does get to meet a lot of different people. And I was telling Andrew how I've been wanting to go to Bryson City. Like, I've been telling him since we moved here, I want to go to Bryson City this summer. I want to go to Bryson City this summer. And Andrew actually ended up selling a car to a couple that was like, oh, yeah, we have a cabin in Bryson City. You guys can stay there for free when you want. Like, just let us know what
I
week
love
this
that
summer.
for you.
It
I
was
love that
so
for you.
crazy. Like, I was like, that's so random because that's specifically where I've been saying I wanted to go. And they were like,
You
yeah,
manifested it.
I guess so. Like, I don't really believe in all of that, but it was kind of weird. And
Yeah.
so then, so yeah, they were like, yeah, we used to have an Airbnb and like, we're just older now and we just don't even want to deal with it. And so like, we just have it for friends and family. And they're like, yeah, like, it was great, like doing business with you. And like, if you and your wife want to go stay there, just let us know. So yeah, just really strange, cool things like that pop up. And it does make it more flexible. Like, I, it's just nice to not have to deal with an apartment and a landlord and just, I don't know. Yeah.
I think I have similar goals, Kyla. I've looked at land. I constantly look for land. It's one of those things like I'm waiting for that diamond in the rough, right? But there's also that like if I buy land, then that's oh man, like that's pretty big stuff. But I still try to keep that mindset in like it's all temporary. Like even if I buy land and I don't like it, I can sell it or I can pay the taxes on it and leave it alone and move on from that. But my lifestyle is a little bit different because I don't have that infinite loop, although I do right now. And oftentimes I put myself in situations where I am a little bit more grounded. But for the most part, I'm fully nomadic, which means I get to go wherever I want, whenever I want. I usually follow the weather. I go south for the winter and then I go north and do hot springs and hiking all summer long. But right now, I don't know what's going to happen because I bought a truck. So I'm kind of in this one place. But the mental struggles that I go through as a full-time traveler are definitely like that up and down of when I'm going on a trip for the fun of it and to make content about it afterwards. There's a huge excitement there. You almost get high off of it. There's a big rush of adrenaline and you get to go to a new place. And even if it's a place you haven't been to, but you've been to in a while, but you've been before, like it's a whole new rush. Getting there and driving there and like showing your dog the place, and they get excited too. So like you get to share that with them. But then there's that like weight of constant movement of like, okay, I have to constantly make sure that the van is earthquake ready. I have to put more money into the van. Like I worry about, the little maintenance things that I have to pay for, the gas, the oil changes. How are my tires doing? Do I need a transmission flush? There's all those like extra things that like traveling constantly puts on you that you're still going to have if you're in one place. But it's you don't really think about it as much because you're like, oh, I've driven this road 100 times. It's kind of like autopilot. But when you're moving to new places, like, is this mountain pass going to be it for the van? And in the past, that's happened to me where it blew my transmission and that's it. So like, there's definitely trauma with traveling. And then there's that freedom versus burnout feeling, where you're like, yeah, you get all that freedom and you're on the road all the time. But like, there's also this like, whew, I kind of just want to be in a campsite for like a straight month so I can catch up on all the work that I need to do that I haven't done, that I've been procrastinating on, maybe make some repairs or upgrades on the van myself and cook some meals, like full course meals in the van. And I feel like when I'm constantly traveling, I've been a lot in the city lately, because I don't have good service at the free campsites nearby. That means I can't cook as much because it's a whole nother level of responsibility when you're cooking in the van and like you're in a public spot. Plus you're warmer. You don't get to keep all the van doors open and cook in the van. So you go back and forth with it. Yeah, I've already talked about that. I'm staying in one general area right now because of extracurricular projects. So that definitely affects the vibe. And I think that's a big difference between the two of us is that there's still stress, but it's just different kinds.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People get burnout from traveling constantly. Like, even when a lot of people say they're nomadic, they're not like jumping to a new place every week. A lot of people are like, I'm going to stay 3 months here. I'm going to stay a month here. I'm going to stay 3 weeks here. So like, it's really just about listening to yourself. And if you enjoy a place and want to chill out, chill. If you're like, nope, I don't like it here. It's not van life friendly. It's not comfortable. I'm getting out of here. So, but travel is stressful. Travel is stressful. And like, there's a long checklist. And also when you're traveling, if anything happens to your vehicle, now you're at the mercy of whatever mechanics are nearby, and they could not be that chill. So that is one plus of staying in one location, is like, I have really trustworthy people I can take the van to if anything happens.
I think our dogs keep us grounded for sure when we're traveling and when we're in one place. The mental health support we get from them is invaluable. It's not just the forced routine. Like, we have to take them out for walks. We have to make sure they have food. We have to make sure that their water bowl is full at all times. But they also provide that like companionship to us. And you know, it's a reason to live. I'm telling you, like, not that I don't have a reason, but there are some days when you wake up and you're like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And that's when your dog comes over and licks your face and comforts you when you're crying, and just, it's pretty special. It's pretty awesome. We've already gone into this in a couple other Van Life dog episodes. Go check those out. But yes, our dogs definitely keep us in some sort of mental stability for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a responsibility that keeps you on somewhat of a schedule. If I don't know, I wonder, because I'm a little bit more type A and I'm always super organized. There are some travelers that I know are super zany and like out there, and there is like no organization, and I'm like, I don't know how you even function like that. Like, I have to have everything a certain way. So I don't know if that's helpful or hurtful, because a lot of my existence in the van is organizing and cleaning before I can even do the next thing. I spend so much of my time with the van just cleaning and organizing.
I think no, because I mean, there's been science on that, where like your space reflects what your mental state is. And if your space is in a disarray, like, your mentality can be that way too. But when you have two people, one person is constantly working a 40 to 60 hour work week, and you're the one taking care of the van as well as dealing with the logistics of being a van lifer full time, that's a real struggle. And I think that keeping the van organized is like the first thing you want to do, because that's then the rest of the problems are like, okay, I can handle those now because there aren't all these problems in my face.
Right. Like so there are 2 people living in here. So we have a lot of stuff in this van because there's 2 people. And like Andrew getting ready in the morning, and like, just like stuff is everywhere. His wet towel is just laid wherever. And like, you know, typical, if you're married to a man, even if you're in a vehicle, that doesn't change. Dirty clothes, like on the floor, like, and I'm just like,
or a woman, you know,
this is a very small space.
There's always that role in any relationship, whether you're married or not, you know, where like one person is usually like the one who's taking care of things.
Yes.
On the down low, like the subconscious things. And then the other person is taking care of like financial. And sometimes
absolutely
it's a little bit both for everyone. Like, it doesn't have to be the traditional male female roles, but like, we definitely want to recognize that like everybody's going through it. And like, there's usually one person, if they're the ones who's got the responsibility of the van or the house, like, they're doing a lot too.
Yeah. So it's a lot of, I don't hold it against him, because I mean, he's getting ready for work. But yeah, it's when he leaves, and I think that's how this works out so well. My husband has a regular brick and mortar job that he goes to, so he's not with me in the van 24/7. So I still have a lot of time by myself to edit my content, film my content, clean the van, organize the van, take care of Gunner. And it's nice to have that break, honestly.
Yeah.
But the pro is I have a whole other person to help me with certain projects. I have a whole other person to financially help, which is awesome. And there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons because we do get on each other's nerves in here for sure.
It's funny. Kyla and I have definitely like hashed it out where like there's parts where I'm so envious, where I wish I had that partner in life with me, my best friend, to share these experiences with and to like help out with like, where are we camping tonight? Where are we, like, can you handle this bill if I go handle the groceries? But at the same time, we're both understanding of each other's circumstances and having a partner and not having a partner and what that looks like. And there's still parts where I'm just like, absolutely, I would not want to deal with that, Kyla. I commend you for doing it because there's no way I could do it.
Yeah.
So it's funny because there's so many pros and cons about living both ways that we are constantly like looking at each other like, how do you do it? But at the same time, like, man, I wish I had that. It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting for sure.
The grass is always greener.
I get the isolation a lot. Because I have my dog to share it with, but like definitely there's times where like I don't have the best relationship with my parents. I really don't have a relationship with them. Let's be honest. The whole boomer thing, I had to like cut them off pretty much. But hi, Mom. But that has, there's always moments where I wish I could call my mom and share like great successes with. And I'm so grateful. I'm not getting like sad about this because I have incredible friends. I have gained some incredible friends over these years of being a nomad, and I can always reach out. Kyla's one of them, where I can say, look at where I am today. Look at this amazing place. Or like, oh my God, I'm going through this dramatic trauma. And I have the support of my friends, but like to not have someone to like curl up in their arms it definitely gives you this feeling of isolation. And sure, there's a dog, but like you don't have someone that can share all your private secrets with all the time and like keep it in the van. So there's definitely an isolating factor there where I'm like, okay, this is hard. I don't know about you, but I definitely get affected by the weather too. I like rainy days because I'm out in the West and we don't get them that much. But then there's the stress of like, oh my God, there's a leak. So it can be great and sucky at the same time.
Yeah.
Then mechanical stressors. I have to fix the van. I'm the only person to do it. I have this other truck. I'm the only person to drive both of them. Sparrow doesn't have a license.
Right.
So, there's a lot of like, okay, I have to do this all by myself.
The logistics.
Yeah.
The logistics is a solo person. People don't realize how helpful it is to have an extra pair of hands, even just to like do when we're doing laundry and like taking the duvet cover off or like, setting up my awning because I don't have a fancy electrical awning. It's like you unzip it and roll it out and pop the legs out. And like, I don't even know how I would do that on my own. It would be a nightmare. So like there's just like certain things where like, yeah, it's nice to have a buddy or your best friend. And more importantly, I think having someone there to like talk you off a ledge or someone just to like bounce ideas off of, which like luckily with like social media and cell phones and the internet, like you can still get some of that mental and emotional connection through friends. But I don't think anything will ever trump like another physical human just like hugging you when you're crying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's something, just someone who has your back all the time that there's nothing that really trumps that. For sure. I have Sparrow. I will say that. I would not be doing van life without a dog. I think that would be I would not survive the day.
No.
Nope. I tried it once. It sucks. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend.
It's weird. Yeah. I don't like it. There's a running joke online that you have to get a dog when you do van life. Have you seen that?
No, but I feel it 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. There's also like, as content creators, we have a lot of social media pressure, and it feels like right now I'm not on an adventure, even though I am on an adventure. To me, I am, where like my followers and my subscribers don't really see this as an adventure. But for me, learning about the truck and like also figuring out what do I want to do in this life? Is this van temporary kind of thought processes? Those are things that, you know, adventures to me, but people that I create content for might not see it that way. And there's a pressure there to create for them so I can make an income still. And so I have to do very similar to what you do, Kyla, right now, is like in this one general vicinity that I am, like I have to make sure I'm taking one adventure a week, whether it's a hike, whether it's, you know, checking out a new recreation area or going into a store for the first time and making content about that. There's something that I have to keep my viewership on point with, and that can be a challenge too. So,
I mean, I definitely get a little bit of like insecure about that. Like I see other people's content and I try not to compare myself, but I try to like, if I really like someone else's content, I'm like, why do I like it? And how do I implement that into mine? Which is really a much more constructive way to live your life, quite frankly. But, you know, I still get that like voice in the back of my head, like, oh, they're always traveling. Oh, they're always going to this phone. I'm so sorry, guys. Today is a day. Mental health episode. So, no, I still get that voice in my head where it's like, okay, how many places around the Blue Ridge Mountains? Like, there are so many and I love them and like I've fallen in love with it. So I'm just doing like a whole Appalachian like section. We're just gonna, I don't care anymore. Appalachian section on my YouTube. But I know that like that is only going to go so far. Like there's people that are like, we're going to Thailand for a week or like spending the night on a train in Germany. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't do that. And that's always going to be more exciting. But I think that the way that I enjoy my content and I still enjoy making it at this point. So I'm not going to give up. But this is my life. I'm just here to share it with people. And if people like it, great. If not, I don't know what to tell you, because if I start making content that I don't enjoy, I can just go get a regular like side job like at TJ Maxx or something.
Let me tell you, girl, the content that you make is so much more relatable and down to earth. Like it inspires people to go in their local area to do those things. I have a hard time watching, as well done and as awesome as they are, the foreign travel, like the big travelers, the ones that go stay in like these magnificent hotels and everything. Yes, it's fascinating, but after a while, I can't watch much of it because I feel like it's out of reach for me right now anyway. Like it's not accessible. And it's just like, I feel worse after I watch it. So I tune out of watching too much of it because it's like, I wish I could be doing that. So when I find things that are like, especially in Arizona, if I find like new restaurants or like content about that is like specifically to my area, I'm like, oh, sweet. I'll go make content about that because I know my perspective on it is going to be different than everything I've already seen because we're different people. So don't think that like just pep talk. Don't think that like, I know I get in that mode too, but don't think that your content doesn't matter because the take that you're going to give on it is so unique than anyone else's. And we need some of that. We need some of that fresh air for real. So don't get discouraged about that.
Sorry that I'm poor, guys, but also the Blue Ridge Mountains are really, really beautiful. And I feel like it's a really underrated part of the nation. And also like the Appalachians are seen as like this like podunk backwoods, like poor dirty place, and I'm like, this place is awesome. Before we got on this episode, we have, oh, by the way, go check out our Patreons because we do bonus episodes on there. I know it's confusing right now, so like we each have our own separate Patreons, so like I guess you'll have to like pick a side. It's like choosing your Pokemon, but eventually we are on YouTube, we are gonna have like that subscription, and then it'll all be on YouTube and it'll be easier for everybody, and then you don't have to like pick a side.
Yeah, but obviously you're gonna pick my side, so it's fine.
Unbelievable.
Horrible. It's okay because like once you guys all pick my side, I'll just hire Kyla and then we'll make content together.
That's fine. You'll be Joe Rogan, I'll be Jamie.
Okay.
Jamie, look that up. Jamie, look that up. Jamie.
If anyone's Joe Rogan, it's Kyla.
Jamie, look that up.
All right, what's next on our little outline here? We've got self-care and sanity tools. Yeah. This is super important. we have routines that help us stay mentally stable for sure. Even if they're tiny little habits like walking the dog, washing your face, brushing your teeth. For me, it's texting my friends. It's doom scrolling for inspiration for other content. Like I get my inspiration by watching other people. And also I have this little thing that I do. It's called 3 Happy Things. Sometimes I don't get to do it every day, but I definitely have a list of friends and my son that we go through, and I'm like, all right, it's time. I need to know what makes you tick and what's making you happy, because then I can relate that to you. Like it's a pattern recognition thing for me. I'm big on that, but also it lets me know how my friends tick and like what's going to make them happy. Like what gets their gears grinding in a good way. Like what, I don't know how to say that. I'm struggling for the words, but like what makes them happy in life? Because if I'm in a relationship with them and they're either my son, my parent, my friend, whatever, I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to help keep them healthy too. So if they come to me with an issue, I can suggest something based on what they've mentioned made them happy in the past. So that's why I do it. And it also helps me focus on the good things in my life at the end of the day instead of whining and complaining, which I do way too
So
often.
you're suggesting being empathetic.
Yeah. I think that helps. I think having a level of compassion, because when you see what other people are struggling with and you compare it to your own problems, you're like, they're not so bad. They're not so bad.
Yeah.
I can handle this. At least I have all of my extremities, all my fingers and toes. I'm in good health. Like I have a friend who's a full-time traveler. Well, she's not a full-time traveler, but for the most part, she traveled full-time this winter, and she fell out of her bus and broke a vertebrae.
Oh my
fractured
gosh.
it. And is now on bed rest and like works at a campground, can't work at the campground. Everything she does for an income is all physical.
No.
So she's in like this big boat of poop right now. And, it just like my heart goes out to her. But at the same time, it's like, whoa, what am I whining about? I have nothing to complain about when you look at her life compared to mine right now. Like, holy crap, she's got it rough. Like, and she's still remaining on the upside of things. Like, more power to her. So, and I'm not saying like go compare yourself to people who have less than you, but like definitely keep that in mind that like things could be so much worse. And that's where 3 happy things come in. Like 3 happy things can be anything. It can be like from the past week, it can be in your whole life, and it can be from the past hour. Like I had a good coffee this morning. Everything's charged up and the sun is shining, so I have free electricity right now. And my dog and I went on a little walk around this like rest area kind of place. And we found a new place to throw the ball without any people or prickers on the ground or anything. So that's great. 3 happy things. It's that easy. And it makes me just focus on the positive instead of the negative all the time. So that keeps me, and it's my little micro routine. And my dental care. Because if I go to bed without brushing my teeth, girl, I'm going to wake up a monster.
I thought of you last night because I had brushed my teeth in the gym, and then I ate at weird times yesterday, and then I worked out really late, so then I was starving at like 1 a.m. And I was literally in the bed like, if I get up and eat, then I'm going to have to brush my teeth again. And I still went up and ate because I was like, my stomach was on fire. And I was like, girl, just eat. And then I still had to floss, and then I brushed my teeth again. But yeah.
You know what I do? I get a protein drink, and I drink it with a straw so it doesn't dirty my teeth.
Yeah, I should have done. Yeah, they have protein drinks at the gym. I should have just done that because like.
Or just get the powder and keep it in your van because it's not going to go bad if you don't eat it. And then you just mix it with some water and you're fine.
Yeah.
Side note.
Yeah. It was so annoying. I hate that.
But that I'm sure you know that like going to bed. Listen, I'm telling everyone right now, take care of your freaking teeth.
If
that's all you got.
If you don't, it's going to be so expensive and painful later.
And I can attest to that. I've had so many teeth pulled. Like I'm missing so many right now. Like, and the ones that I do have left are like they're crumbling away. So I wasn't always good to my teeth. I didn't have good healthcare growing up. I didn't have great healthcare when I was a young mother, and then I went through an ED and all these other drugs and dumb stuff that I made. Most of it's my fault. Listen, I'm not blaming anyone else. It's my fault. But let me tell you right now, take care of your teeth. That will help your mentality, because if you have a tooth infection, the first place it goes is your brain.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And it's
So
very
brush your teeth,
very
floss your teeth.
expensive.
Yeah. Take care of your teeth.
Yeah.
What do you have for little goals, Kyla? Like, what's your little like routine for healthcare and self-care and mental health?
So self-care, having a sink build in my van was absolutely a game changer for me. Starting out, I didn't have a sink build, and I was in Florida where it was very humid, very muggy. So like, I don't even want to do my hair and makeup. I don't even want to put on anything cute to feel good about myself. So I was just this sweaty, gross mess in a van, just wearing like what I wore to bed the night before. And just like, I'm sorry, I'm not a dirty kid. I'm not like, I'm outdoorsy and like, I'm rough and tough. Ugh. Okay, sorry, it was freezing. Okay. I'm not a dirty kid. Like, I'm outdoorsy and I'm still like rough and tough. Like, I'll go mudding. I love fishing. I love camping. But I still like to feel good about myself. I also still have that circus performer ass. Oh, look at your nails.
No, dirt under the nails I cannot stand. I cannot stand. It's
you have really
I pet sparrow and I get dirt under the nails.
Wait, let me see your nails again. You have really nice nails naturally.
Oh no,
your cuticles
ridgy, they break.
Really?
Look at this. This one's split down the middle.
No, my cuticles are. Look at that. Horrible. I have horrible.
Beautiful.
I have horrible.
Dude, they're beautiful. They're clean and they're longer than mine. Listen, if I play guitar, like they go to crap immediately. So this one's split down the middle too. You can't really tell. I'm trying to get it in there a little bit better, but nope, it's not going to focus. Yeah, they're split. I have ridges. It's probably like, liver failure or something. I don't know. Some holistic.
Don't say that. God.
But yeah, my nails split all the way down the middle, like halfway down the nail. And then I have to like cover them with Band-Aids and they split all the time. It doesn't matter if I eat Jell-O and like take gelatin in college. It doesn't matter. I just have bad fingernail genetics. So, but I can't stand when they're dirty. I cannot stand. I feel like everything on my body could be coated in dirt. If my fingernails are clean, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I need my face and mouth to feel clean. So I wake up, I wash my face, and then I brush my teeth. That is my like baseline. And then I organize the van. So I get like the bags where they should be, everything where it should be, garbage, take care of Gunner, all of that. And then I would say when I'm really not doing well mentally, I have to just like get off of TikTok. I have to get away. Like, I'm on social media so much because I create it and upload it. But like, there comes a time where I'm like, I need to get away from this and I need to just go be outside, and I cannot be on the screen. I have to get away from it. It's a time suck, and it will, if I'm already in like a very like judgmental mood of myself. Yes, you can use it for inspo like you said, but on the flip side, all of a sudden I'll just be like, oh great, they're going viral. Like, what the heck? My content is so much better quality. I'm so much more well-spoken. Like, why are they getting 50,000 views on this video and I'm only getting 100? Like, I'm literally going to drive this van. I'm going to drive this van off of the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yep. Yes. We do go through that, guys. That's for real. We know our worth. And when the rest of the world doesn't value us in the way that we value ourselves, and that's not narcissism, baby. That's knowing your worth. That's confidence. We know what our capabilities are, and we know our skill sets, and we also know our charisma and our ability to relay information, our organizational skills, our level of perfectionism. Like, we have a lot of goal-oriented things in our life, and when we don't get the recognition for it, or at least we don't get the reciprocity of the rewards that most people are getting for doing less work, it is entirely frustrating, and it makes you want to like,
or maybe they're not doing less work, it's just that I'm better at it.
I love it. I love you.
No, awesome. I'm just saying, like, it's not that I think I suck. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And the only critique I have of myself as far as content creating is like, no, I will not be fake. No, I will not be superficial. Right. No, I will not be overly consumeristic. No, I will not make all of my content a paid ad. And so like, that's my biggest downfall, because a lot of the algorithm caters to consumerism and manipulating all of you to spend money.
Yes.
So that's
And when you
why
get your account audited and everyone's only giving you wonderful positive feedback, even when you're asking for the negative feedback and you still don't get it, you don't know how to improve. And
I have a
at that point
theory.
you get to this thing where you're like, this, I feel like it's personal. And I know that that's not a healthy aspect to take on a perspective.
No, it's
You
not
can't take it
personal. It's
personal,
not
but at the same
personal.
time you're like, why?
Well,
Why? It
I
doesn't make
have a
sense.
theory that Nomad and Vanlife content is being
Yes.
suppressed right now because
Oh, for sure.
there's a housing crisis in the US, and the powers that be do not want everyone getting the bright idea to go live in their car and not participate in this messed up housing market.
Well, if you
So,
have a van, you can't consume a lot of stuff. And here we are talking about, like, we mentioned the word minimalism, living with less, mental health, and not having that weight on your shoulders. And like the algorithm hears that and is like, oh, they don't want to encourage
well,
spending
and
money. So everybody spend money.
I'm not
Bye,
trying to be
bye.
mean, but like the van lifers that do really well have these much more commercialized high end vans with a lot of expensive gear, and they're constantly promoting the expensive gear. And there's no shame in that game. Like, they're promoting products that are good products and they have a nice
Yeah.
build, and I love that, and that's great. Is that content going to help the next person that's about to lose their apartment? Like,
No.
the content that I started doing spawned out of me becoming unhoused. Like, I'm
And it
sorry.
also makes people think that you need all that fancy stuff to do van life, and that's not the case.
But that's why we're not going to sell. That's why we're not doing well.
Right.
Because we're not selling everyone. Like, I don't know, dude. Well, you know what? In 5 years, if we still aren't making any money, then I'm quitting.
5 years.
I'm quitting.
Oh, girl. It's going to be sooner than 5 years.
Wait, you're quitting
But
before
listen,
that?
You're going to be
quitting
making
before
money
that.
before then. I
But
promise
wait,
you this.
when is your bottom line to give up and quit? When will it be enough for you?
That's a good question. I don't think I've actually answered that.
I've asked myself that, and I'm not sure. But I talk to Andrew about it all the time because he's so like, babe, you got this. Like, you're amazing. You and Bunny together is amazing. He's like, there's no reason you guys aren't going to blow up. Like, this is so great. He's like, all of these YouTubers say it takes years. Like, it just takes one video. Like, you guys are constantly like looking up analytics and SEO, blah, 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 blah. You guys do good thumbnails. Like, you just have to be patient. And I'm just like, but at what point? I never want to be that delusional person that's like, I've been doing this for 10 years and it's like, girl, you still have 2,000 subs and you're not making any money.
I'm going to be real right now. I've only been monetized for 3 months on YouTube, but I put in thousands of hours.
You're so hard on yourself.
Do you know how much money I've made in 3 months?
You're so hard on yourself.
You guys, I won't even say how much, but go ahead and put it in the comments. I think I might have already said it, but I can't remember because we were talking privately in the beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Make a guess in the comments. And you can edit this out if whatever, but if I already said it in the recorded version, but like, make a guess in the comments.
People don't realize you have to gain monetization on social media. You don't just like start posting and make money. You have to have a certain amount of followers. You have to have a certain amount of watch hours, which is the amount of accumulative hours people have watched you. It's a whole thing, and like there's different ones for Spotify, there's different regulations for YouTube, there's different regulations for TikTok, like, and it's a lot of time and effort for not always a lot of I don't know, reward. It's really frustrating when
it's easy to lose motivation when you don't have a reward from it. Like, you put in like hundreds of hours of work and you don't even make 3 cents on a video, and you're like, how can I keep doing this?
Well, in the videos
you really have to love what you're doing.
The videos that I love making normally do the worst. And then the videos where I don't care about, where I'm like, okay, this is a product review, that does good just because people are searching for information about that product. So I still sprinkle those in. But the videos I love making where like I'm hiking and I'm going through the history of this place, or I'm talking about how the height of this waterfall and where it flows into, and it's just like, no.
It's rough.
No. I'm like, okay.
I have about 15 minutes.
All right.
before I have to wrap this up. So let's
Okay.
get on to the next part, which is what we're still working on.
Okay.
So yeah, as far as what I'm still working on, everything is still hard. Like it gets easier because you get into a flow of van life. You understand what the challenges are and you know what to prepare for, especially I've been doing this for almost 12 years now. So like I know the worst part is when things need to get fixed on the van. When you have a breakdown on the side, that's probably the absolute worst thing. The stealth camping I've figured out for the most part. The free camping I figured out. Like I've there's all these problems that I've solved already that I still have to make the decision though, and that can be a challenge. So it's still hard to do that with experience. But when it's compared to someone who's just starting van life, I don't have the same struggles they do because my fears are not there. I don't worry about little things because I have fail safes in place already, or I've already experienced like a man coming up to the van, like how to react to that or respond to it. I've dealt with getting knocks from the police. How do I respond to it? Always keep a smile on your face, y'all. It's that simple. Yes, officer. And don't answer any questions. But that really, and just absolutely, I will leave right now. Do you know where I can go? That's how you deal with the knock. But anyway, there is a whole level of things that I've already figured. Sorry, there's a motorcycle next to me. There's a whole level of things that we have to learn to deal with. And after so many years, it's just second nature at this point, and you fall into a flow of it. But there are still issues when they come up that are like, oh my God. When you get misjudged by society and people think you're some like dirty kid, nasty alcoholic bum drug addict because you live in a van. When people think you're going to like trash their place when you're not. And then there's when it's a lot of that misjudgment that's the worst thing. And then when the repairs need to happen and like your whole life is on fire, that's rough. But we still deal with it. We still have to deal with it like everyone else in the house. What about you?
Yeah, I would say for me, the balance of having long-term goals and making more responsible decisions financially and lifestyle-wise while in the van, and balancing that with being a little bit of a nihilist because we're not promised tomorrow, and I don't want to waste what time I have on this earth with the people I love working and saving and never enjoying any of it. But I can't go back to my 20s and be like, let's spend our whole paycheck. Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely maturing and growing, and like I'm lucky that I have a partner that's also like we talk about goals and finances pretty regularly. And this is a team effort in this van. It is most certainly a team effort. And I would not recommend getting into van life with your partner unless you guys are not already a team, because it'll make or break you. Like you'll figure out pretty soon if it's going to work or not.
Can I just ask the audience, if you have a motorcycle, why do you need to keep starting the engine and standing by it and then turning it off and then turning it back on? Nobody thinks you're cool. Stop that.
I wonder.
It's noise violations. It's like noise pollution. Stop it.
No, there might be a reason for it. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe let us know in the comments. Is that like...
Please, because that's one of my pet peeves, when they start their engine and let it ramble, and they're just standing there talking with the next person. Then they turn it off and you're like, why are you doing that? It's annoying.
Is it to like warm up the engine? I don't know. Maybe it's just to be cool.
It's not diesel. It's just gas. Like,
well, let us know. Is it to be cool or is there a purpose? Because if it's to be cool, it's annoying.
Because nobody cares. Everybody thinks you're kind of foolish if you're doing it to be cool. Trust me.
Yeah.
Unless you think it's cool, fine. But it's hurting other people. Stop.
It's too much.
If there's a reason, though, I want to know in the comments.
It's too much.
What's one recent moment, Kyla, where your mental health was like super shaky? And what did you do to shift it?
Oh boy. Lately I've been doing really good, thank God, because Andrew isn't. But I would say a month or two ago I was really depressed and like not taking phone calls, like responding to you or other people way less. Just feeling really like, what's the point of making content anymore? Like, why do I do this? And like just feeling very unmotivated, like questioning myself, like that inner saboteur of like, you're a fool, like you look foolish putting all this effort into this, like you're a fraud, you're a phony, and just like giving up. And I wasn't working out. Like this past winter, was not in the gym, wasn't working out. I was trapped at the RV. Andrew was taking the van to work. Like it was a really, really dark, harsh winter. But out of that spawned us doing the podcast. And now I feel like I'm back on track. I have goals. I have things I'm excited about. I'm back in the gym. Like I'm very busy. Like I run social media for my other friends. So yeah, like people think I'm just sitting in the van all day doing nothing. And that could not be farther from the truth. I'm constantly busy.
Yep. And even like when we're not recording this podcast, like the amount of work that goes behind the scenes that we end up like we're constantly in communication about it. So I know how much work you do, and you're still managing the 4 or 5 accounts of your own personal social media accounts.
Yeah, we both
on top
are.
of the others, on top of the knock. So it's unending, and I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Plus managing the van and managing the dog and managing my health.
Bunny is a wizard, because last night we just finalized editing the Vanessa Keating interview, and then I'm like, dude, are we filming tomorrow? What are we talking about? And she just comes up with all of this stuff, and like she really is like the driving force of like, what are we talking about? And I'll talk and then I'll edit it. You figure out what we're saying and I'll edit it.
We make a really good team, Kyla, because there's so much of this would not be able to happen without either of us. And it's just, it really is like, I get goosebumps, right? Like, I don't know if you can, I get goosebumps thinking about it, because I've never been able to work with someone who is so driven and motivated, and who keeps me encouraged on my down days, and who I feel like I can keep encouraging on her down days. So we do make an exceptional team.
Absolutely.
I think I talked about having that recent moment, like just last week or over the weekend, even, where I was just like, and it comes down to when I don't really, the social media aspect anyway, not the traveling. I love the traveling. There are times when it gets hard, but there's never a time where I'm like, I don't want to do van life anymore. There comes times where I don't want to make social media about it, but there's never a time where I don't want to do van life anymore. Never, no matter what.
It's just the social media aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm not getting paid for this. Why am I putting because sometimes the social media work behind the scenes, you guys, that takes away from my freedom and my traveling and my adventuring and my lifestyle. Because I have to stay in a place where I have service. I have to be camped up for a couple days to edit a video. I have to really organize. Like, I can't just be frivolous.
Also, like, not living in the moment. Like, I think of, like, both of us are always like, okay, what's the next video? What's the next content? And so, like, there are times where I just don't even want to have my phone out, and it's like, oh, I have to get a shot of this. Oh, what voiceover? Like, I'm always in creator mode, which we can do a whole separate episode specifically on like van life content creators and content creating in general, because I have so much more I want to touch on. But it does kind of rob you of your reality. And we did choose to do this, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't even care about making a video about this. Like, I'm just going to live in the moment.
It's crazy because the stuff that we spend the least effort on is usually the stuff that does well, which doesn't make sense, because
why do we try?
I wouldn't believe the amount of trying I mean, we're down to like, you guys don't, I wish I could explain. I know some of you that are content creators can understand this, but even most of you who do create content still can't fathom the level of behind the scenes work that this takes. There's script writing, there's lighting, there's production, there's money to fund all these adventures. There's the worrying about actual everyday, where am I going to camp and that stuff. But there's also like, what are we going to name this at? What's the file name going to be so that the algorithm can find it? Like, there's so much tech stuff that's behind the scenes that nobody even thinks about. And then we also feel like there's a level of manipulation we have to do for our audience so that they watch the video. We have to change up the title so it's the most striking for people to click on. It doesn't really always encapsulate what the video is about, but if it gets you there, you'll watch it. And that that can be really challenging because it feels like we're not being real, but we don't have a choice. Anyway, I just want to like let everyone know that even though we live this peaceful van life lifestyle, what you see on Instagram and everything, it still carries a lot of invisible pressure. Our lifestyles are still more peaceful with our level of stress in the van than they ever would be in an apartment or a house. Absolutely, hands down. But they still have struggle. They still have struggle for sure. What's one thing that you want to remember, that each of us wants to remember, but we'll go with you first, to practice this week, and what mental health means to you right now? Like, I want to ask the audience that second part. Like, let us know what mental health means to you right now, in the comments. But also, like, Kyla, what's the thing that you want to remember to practice?
Just taking breaks and giving myself an actual day off. I usually don't give myself a day off. I'm always recording or filming or editing something at any given time. So I'm really good at making the best use out of my time, but I'm always just like, one more thing and then I can do this. So yeah, just taking a break, honestly, because I have not been doing that.
I think that's like the key right there too, to let yourself know, okay, stop, put the phone down, walk away, even lock up the van and step away from the van.
Yeah.
Go with your dog and like live in the moment, listen to the birds, step outside, sit in the camp chair. Yeah. Yep. Is important because you get into that zone and you can't get out of it. And it's a downward spiral. I just want to keep remembering, I've said this all this episode, it's been a very big theme this week, that the only way to get through it is to go through it. And everything is temporary in this life, whether you live in a house, a hotel, a trailer, or a van. It doesn't matter. It's all temporary. And so I'm just going to try and enjoy everything as it comes and goes. And I need to remember that. So hopefully you guys can too. Are you a nomad or a stationary van lifer or something in between? How do you protect your peace on the road? Are you solo or are you partnered? Those are all questions for you, the audience. We'd love to know. Let us know in the comments. And also give us a follow if you like deeper conversations like this. Next time we might dig into, a more psychological episode on loneliness or digital detoxing, or how our vans reflect our internal world. So stay tuned for that. And also, don't forget to listen to past episodes, because we might have already covered something that you have questions about. So just go through and see what those titles are. We've covered all kinds of things like van life dogs. We've had interviews, and we're going to have some more in the future, and we are very excited about that. So stay tuned to the knock. Do we want to do the ending?
Talk about mental illness. All right. Lock your doors.
Lock your doors. Stay alert.
And always listen for the knock.
And always listen to the knock. For the knock. See, we're never going to get it, girl.